On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Crazy stuff happening in the world as always. What I do kind of appreciate at the moment, I'll be honest with you, is there's sort of a weird lull in the news, I've noticed. I don't know about you guys, but for me, not as much news to go through. I don't know if people are just getting tired of reporting it or what. I do think there's an interesting lull. Now, I'm going to bring up a stupid video game. Many of you maybe have never played it. Some of you might be like, no, it sounds cool. The game's called Factorio, and it's essentially a game that's all about building manufacturing and how manufacturing evolves and how you've got to evolve your processing to make it. It's a fun game. It's Factorio. You're like basically a giant factory, and you ultimately try to build a rocket ship and launch into space, and then they've got even further new versions of it, but just a fun game. But one of the things you learn is every once in a while you got to stress the system, and then you got to let it kind of play out so you can stress the system again and figure out where your weak spots are. Because you know what happens when you stress the system, you find out where you're running out of materials, and you're like, we need more of those. Damn, okay, I got to start more production of that so I can keep up with and really be able to do this. And what I feel like is this is one of those calming moments before they do something weird. And some of that, one, I think, is to keep us calm, right? So we don't freak out and become unhinged. And then some of it is I think they're curious on how data points flow. I would assume there's always some analytics involved. And you want to sometimes see if you can control variables a little and maybe get a better feel for how certain reactions affect certain specific areas rather than doing 3-4 things at once and then just seeing a whirlwind happen, right? And you're like, all right, well, I didn't see where it really started. Where did the fire start, if you will? Billy Joel's obviously telling us we didn't start it, so someone did. Frickin' fire somewhere. So there's this odd calm. There's news of all sorts of stuff. There's crazy concerns all over the place. Maybe peace, which is really bothering the deep state badly. Also, what's going on with the National Guard and this traitorous activity. These people are showing themselves. I'm assuming someone's going to be made an example, but this is truly a color revolution. We're gonna spend a little bit of time on it, not a lot. It's the immigration section, and should, in general, be a reasonably short show. U.S. military sends out F-16 jets to intercept a civilian aircraft Saturday that entered temporarily restricted airspace over Palm Beach, Florida, which, of course, is where Mar-a-Lago is. This incursion was around 4:20. Woohoo! 420, also the answer to everything, by the way, 42, just so you guys know. That's 420's not just cool from the standpoint of the herbals, but it's also cool from the standpoint of the answer to everything. And many say that 2442 is a very significant number from the physical standpoint. It certainly reduces to 6 for some of you guys that take it all the way down there. But there are a lot of 2-digit numbers that seem to have their own lives that have occurred with them. So anyway, all said. They deployed flares to get this plane to kind of go where it was supposed to. But this what got me is supposedly 40 different tracks of interest in West Palm Beach. And I kind of wonder if these are tests or if some of this is people that, like this is the type of people, like the 9/11 thing, right? They said some dudes went and took some Cessna lessons and somehow they were able to fly multi-engine aircraft. There's no way in hell that ever happens. No way. Starting the aircraft is a completely different experience. Flying it is a very different experience. Just everything about it. So, no. Yeah, autopilot, you got to understand a whole lot of stuff. Flying a Cessna over Mar-a-Lago and dropping something out a window, very doable. Or just even crashing the plane into Mar-a-Lago, very doable. Drones, to me, would make more sense. But still, I wonder if these are tests of the overall system. I would assume there's constantly aircraft flying near this area and always patrolling, and anything gets anywhere near it, it's like there. It's not like they have to launch aircraft. I doubt that. It's not like, Top Gun, they're like, launched, alert 5 aircraft. I don't think they're worried about that so much. Like, they're already up. If it's really bad, they probably launch multiples extra, but whatever. Appeals court disqualifies former Trump lawyer Alina Habba from serving in the interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey. Again, they're fighting us everywhere they can. These are those blue slips. This is literally the Senate. And rhinos, I love Grassley, but Grassley, man, this is on you, bro. I don't know what's going to happen with you. But this is 100% on Grassley. Love him, sweet old man. But he refuses to budge on this blue slip thing. This blue slip thing is keeping us from being able to put actual MAGA-type people in positions where they should be. They're heavily infiltrated blue places. They will not let us get in. So this is, her being disqualified and anything that she's maybe involved in or that she pushed forward, depending how crazy they're going to be. This is the appellate court, by the way, that said, we agree with the lower district court. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this has been part of that frustration with the blue slips, and Trump's literally, I think he put her back in once her time expired. They're basically saying you can't do that. So maybe technically have to put her either somewhere else or put someone else there for a period of time, then bring her back in, whatever. It's the games we're playing, folks. It's the games we're playing. D.C., they set a juvenile curfew. Apparently, crime's popping back up now that the National Guard's not really around as much. Cut back the numbers significantly. And crime's come back. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like they really can't manage the crime. Can they? It's a horrible mess. Anyways, they've got a number of places where juveniles are out of control, at night especially. And so they are putting these curfews in place. I don't know what the actual numbers are. It doesn't seem to be stated in this article, but nah. So Alyssa Slotkin, she spoke to the Brookings Institute a month ago, and she predicted there would be a bloody incident involving the National Guard 2 weeks after her self-titled speech of Trump's authoritarian playbook. She predicted this bloody incident. She's ex-CIA. She was the one that really put this six together. This is literally a color revolution happening in our country right now in real life.
As a CIA officer, the idea that intelligence officers could be asked to target Americans turns my stomach, and it would shift us into a modern-day surveillance state. Turning the federal government against Trump's enemies goes hand in hand with his use of force in American cities, both federal law enforcement and the military. As of today, the president has attempted to deploy more than 7,000 National Guard members across 5 cities, including right here in Washington. In August, the administration ordered the creation of 2 new National Guard units, a standing quick reaction force that can deploy anywhere in the country, and then separately, National Guard units in all 50 states focused on quelling so-called civil disturbances. At this point, Trump has been very clear about his intent. At Quantico, speaking as commander-in-chief, he instructed his military brass to use cities as, quote, training grounds. And many times, he's floated the idea of invoking the Insurrection Act so that military units can raid, detain, and arrest Americans. The president has already deployed ICE and other federal law enforcement to these same cities across America. In some cases, these federal officers are playing fast and loose with their tactics, which sooner or later could lead to a deadly escalation. The videos out of Chicago are shocking. Federal agents pulling their weapons on highways, firing tear gas into neighborhoods right before a Halloween parade, injuring and even killing civilians. Many are masked, not wearing uniforms, and driving unmarked cars. For those of us who served abroad, it feels like another country. And it's only a matter of time before things get worse. By my estimation, we're about 2 weeks away from a bloody incident that spirals out of control. And this is just the kind of incident that Trump wants to justify more force coming in.
And who is behind orchestrating it? Right, the deep state. Her, Brennan, her boss, her controller. This lady is being traitorous. What she is doing is specifically MK Ultra type stuff, color revolution type stuff, period. End of story. She can hide behind the words because that's how color revolutions work. You get people that say things that are within the law, but everybody knows they're inciting. It's exactly what she's doing. Now, I, again, think we're much, much further along than these people were prepared for. I think we have a much stronger MAGA base than that, and the only people that are really believing what she is saying are the progressives. And if there are some progressives in the military, I would bet Hegseth and many others would prefer to have them out themselves so we can see who you are and get you the heck out. That is what a lot of is happening right now. This is the wheat from the chaff. This is the separation. The real work will begin soon, as soon as we can. Once we get some judges, some attorney generals, or whatever the U.S., whatever the Lena Habo is, serving U.S., what the hell is she? U.S. attorney, whatever the hell that title is. So yeah, we've got a bit of a situation going on, unquestionably. Donald Trump truthed this out. There are laws that impact our nation. Read Title 18, Chapter 115, Section 2387. Quote, whoever with the intent to interfere, impair, influence the loyalty, moral, or discipline of the military and naval forces to be fined or imprisoned up to 10 years. Commander Kirk Lippold, U.S. Navy retired. This is right on point. Do what has to be done. Here we've got Tricia McLaughlin's confirming that New York City is harboring 7,000 illegals in jails right now. Think about it. They've got illegals in jail that they don't have a budget. They're hurting for money. They'd rather pay, and it's a ridiculous amount of money to house an inmate per day. They'd rather pay that times 7,000 every day than could say, hey, DHS, like free of charge, can you get these 7,000 people deported? Think about that. Think about how committed they are to having criminals, by the way. Criminals. They're in jail, and they're illegal, and they somehow didn't get let go. So they must be really bad. And still, they want to hang on to them. Why? Because they, at some point, would like to release them again. We've already talked about recidivation rates. Unfortunately, one of the problems with prison, by the way, is it teaches you to be worse. In almost all cases, people come out worse because you're around everybody that's constantly like, all right, well, next time I don't want to get caught. And you guys work out and work on and talk about the secrets and the tricks of the trade. Extremely disruptive. Very unlikely you're going to come out of that positive. Some do. Most of them are the ones that get very heavily into religion of some kind, or, the Bible and everything else. It usually helps save them to a large extent. Dan Bongino posted this. He said, a lot of people are very upset at the changes and reforms we've made at the FBI. They will do anything to revert to the old ways of doing things. So they leak gossipy nonsense to the media outlets and journalists with a clear agenda, and they ignore the historic results and the significant reforms we've instituted. Judge the results. I work for you, not for headlines. Thank you for supporting during my time in the FBI. I really appreciate it. And this is, Dan, I think he's just unfortunately not in the limelight, which maybe is a good thing in his mind. I don't know. I mean, he's, I think, used to being in the limelight, so it's got to be hard for him. But really is Cash's place to be, and Pam Bondi. And Cash knows that. He's got to bow down to that sometimes when it serves. So, again, you're always in your position. This is one thing a lot of young kids don't really get, but your job, when you get a job and you got a boss, your job's to make your boss look good, period. End of story. That's your job. Make your boss look good. If you do that, you're going to get promoted. Now, if your boss is a douche, I mean, you're kind of screwed. Usually you try to find another job or tough it out, but, boss get promoted or whatever. But ultimately, that's your job. Make your boss look good. The better you do that, the better the company's going to treat you. That's how it always works. Democrats aim for a surprise win in Tennessee, MAGA stronghold. Guys, if you're in the 7th district, wherever the hell this is, I don't know what city it is. The 7th district. You probably know if you're in the 7th district, but whatever the case is, yeah, Mark Green, they're replacing him, and the Democrat person's supposedly making a run. And I don't know, you guys are probably doing mail-in ballots out there, of course, so you're about to give this election away. Republicans, if you want to hang on to that district, you better show up and vote in person if you can, because they're trying to steal this. They're going to take it piece by piece. Tennessee's another was a very Republican state. Now I believe the entire western part of it is heavily blue, and now they're going after East Tennessee. Guys, come on. Watch out, Knoxville. I lived out there. I was at Knoxville's Classic Rock. 103.5 WIMZ. Those good times. It was good times. Forever ago. 100 billion years ago. Let's see. Videos. They probably had paper records back then. Oh, yeah. That's right. Commercial. Hello. Feel great. Dude, this stuff is amazing. It is really changing people's lives. Well, essentially happens, and we're going to play a quick video. It kind of explains it. In this longer video, if you're overweight, 10 plus pounds, and especially if you've got any sort of diabetes, pre-diabetes, post-diabetes, in between diabetes, they're noticing without doing anything, without messing with your meds, this is nothing like that. They are noticing, one, people's weight reductions with cravings, with how full they feel when they eat. They don't need to eat as much. That's one of the things balance does, is it helps you feel a little more full. It's a fibrous, kind of fills up your stomach. Your satiety level is what they call that, but it kind of lowers, like you don't need as much food. And you can actually start to see huge reductions in weight, but certainly it helps with the cravings, the sugar cravings. Now, I have an actual quote. I'm not going to say who, I guess, because I never got permission to. I tried numerous times, in fact, but I've lost it now. Where'd it go? Donde es? There you are. So it said, using Unicity products have helped me lower my blood sugar to the levels the doctors are saying that I should be at. She checks her blood frequently. Not only has it helped with my blood sugar levels, it helps block my cravings and snacking. I can't wait for my A1C test in January. I can't wait to hear from her. This is the first time in over 20 years that I have actually found something that works, including the medications they have me on. See, she hasn't gotten off her meds, and she's seeing better numbers. You know what's going to probably happen? The doctor's going to be like, I don't know what you're doing, but it's working. We're going to lower your meds, or even if you get lucky, you won't need them anymore. Because this is all around insulin resistance. This is the key issue right now for all of us. All of us. We spike our insulin so hard. We eat carbs in weird places, snacking, right? Like it's just unnatural. And so insulin's constantly being spiked and you're getting this up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, eventually your body's like, nah, you got carbs in you. I'm not going to deal with it like I used to anymore. And so it stops spitting out the insulin because you're resistant. And your body stops using it the same way. And so you don't process carbohydrates correctly. So you start gaining weight, you start getting weird sicknesses, you start getting diabetes. A whole lot of weird things start to happen because the processes of the carbs aren't happening as efficiently as they should, and it's ending up in your blood. This helps reverse the trends and some of the health issues that we've already got. It's got this wonderful, like yerba mate. It's some weird plant thing, and it's just huge results. It just happens to work. Everything else they've got put together in this product is incredible. Incredible. Feel Great is what it's called. And we're going to play the video. It's only a minute. But again, guys, this is powerful stuff. Oh, yeah, I got it up there. OTFspecial.com. 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 I mean, telling you, all the different stuff we feel. Gut health, depression, fatigues, like all of this stuff. Most of it's tied to the fact that we're not properly digesting our carbs. That can change. Your body doesn't have to stay that way. It's staying that way because of the foods we eat, the types of foods, right? So there's some factors, but this helps with cravings, with some of the snacking, and the snacking is usually the worst of the foods. 0-calorie foods are some of the worst of the foods because now you've got all sorts of weird stuff that actually acts like a sugar in the body, but the body doesn't recognize it as a sugar. That's part of the insulin resistance too. We've got fake sugars posing as sugars in our body. Check this out. This video can and will help many of your lives, and I'm taking it. I took it this morning. I love it. It gives me a little energy. It does help with cravings, unquestionably. I know it's helping me with processing of carbs, and I noticed that, by the way, even with my drinking. I seem to process it better. I don't know. I'm noticing it. Again, this is like, I've been playing with it a little bit. It's kind of how I do these things, and then I'm just like kind of all in once I kind of understand how it affects my body. I'm enjoying this, and this stuff's working awesome, and we're hearing from other people as well. Don't let this pass you. Well, it's not you can pass you by. I mean, you can wait, but don't let your health pass you by. That's for sure. Like, why be unhealthy longer when you don't need to? You can literally start to turn the numbers around. OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. Check this out. This is pretty cool.
If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds. Just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Yeah, and literally, and it's got all that science and stuff in there too, which I think I overly simplify it. But nonetheless, an incredible product, changing people's lives. Check it out, otfspecial.com, otfspecial.com. Heck yeah, get healthy. I love it. All right, here's some immigration stuff. This is getting crazy. Multiple failures in the vetting process of Afghans, says Tom Homan. He's basically chiming in. He's not saying anything that we haven't heard, right? Biggest national security failure in the U.S. history, blah, blah, blah. I guess, maybe this is helpful for people because it is. People need to understand in these third world nations, they don't have systems like we do. So a lot of these Afghans who did get here to get better, they had no identification at all. Not a single travel document, not one piece of identification. And we're going to count on the people that run Afghanistan, the Taliban, to provide us information on who the bad guys were or who the good guys are? Certainly not. Right? And this is kind of what happened. He said, in fact, a whole bunch of people have the same birthday as January 1st. So there's a problem, big time, in the way the vetting was done and the way the records were done. Like nothing. They didn't even ask people, like, you get Afghan guys say, hey, when's his birthday? And he's like, and then the guy's like, and he's like, yeah, it was January 1st. Like, what? I've even learned those words in whatever the hell language they're speaking. I hope that didn't sound like, it shouldn't have. That was my best interpretation of that language. USPS built-in mail system, they've got all these truck drivers. So when the government said, hey, you can't use people that are foreign, don't speak English with these jacked up CDLs, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll do it. And then they were like, oh, shucks, we got to fire like all of them. Their entire network was using it and based in using these cheaper truck drivers. Think about the USPS, who, by the way, got a freaking union. We're paying these dudes a shit ton of money to deliver our mail. And if you're a mail carrier, thank you. I've got an uncle that is too. Okay, I'm not trying to be a dick, but finding out that you guys are trying to offload truck driving so the Teamsters don't get it. Or because, let's be honest, the problem is you guys can't do mail efficiently. It's extraordinarily expensive. You've got companies like UPS and FedEx that can do it cheaper than you guys do. And you guys are supposed to be like the masters at it, which is, obviously shows how much bureaucracy bullshit, how much siphoning is actually happening from the postal budget. I'd love to see how that's playing out. You guys had some stupid electric vehicles. You guys spent a bunch of money on a bunch of electric vehicles for the mail, and they didn't work. They didn't hold a charge long enough. In the cold places, they didn't work at all. They certainly were crap. So, yeah, we've got a big problem. And this is one of the things, again, we need Americans to do these jobs. Anybody that is like, even if you're like thinking of retiring and you've got truck driving skills, I seriously recommend looking into trying to find one of these jobs. First off, it's going to be at a premium. If you're all certified in the proper ways and you actually know what you're doing, it's going to be huge. And during this, next few years, that actually might make the difference in your whole family. Right? And this is the type of stuff we need to be doing right now. Again, the whole learn to code. We got AI is going to do that. AI can code a lot of stuff pretty easily. It is. It's just, learning to code is kind of stupid. There's no a lot of that stuff's going to instantly be replaced. Instantly. Especially code. Now, you still need somebody to technically check it because I've got a couple friends I know that are in this world, and they've double-checked the code frequently and found all sorts of strange strange stuff. Not necessarily like it's sending it to, a mothership or China, nothing like that. It's more of just weird code that's not necessary, that almost maybe doesn't make sense to us. And they're not sure why it does some of the things it does. And I think it's one of the things that's tripping people out a little bit. And that will be the thing, because computers will never fully understand why we do some of the things we do. Sometimes we act irrational. Rationale is what they would base everything on. That's what most people will do. And then when you don't do that thing every once in a while, it's like, fuck, you were supposed to. Guarantee I thought you were, you normally would. 99 times out of 100 you would have. And for some reason you're like, I'm going to go this way. This is just, again, the differences. It's kind of funny. One of the things I think AI is bringing to the table, and the other thing, like I said, I'm not worried about it being better than us. I think there's so many people that are so worried about that. Now, we are unique beings. We're sovereign spiritual beings. We are significantly more impressive than AI. Way more impressive. I promise you. You may not believe it, but I promise you, AI is just not even you. We got a bunch of cool little videos here. Trump had a lot to say. I'm going to do my best to stitch these all together so it just looks like one sort of long video, maybe 6-7 minutes. I don't know. But it's a bunch of Trump and good stuff. Him talking with the reporters and some of their stupid questions, some questions that were legit. He kind of covers a bunch of topics that we'll sort of recover here, but I didn't want to break these apart because it was a lot of good stuff, and this is such an easy way to show it to you guys. But anyway, and I never turned that back on. Hi. Anyway, all said. Here's Donald Trump doing the Donald Trump thing on Air Force One.
Your administration made a lot of moves throughout the last few days after we know that Afghan national is the suspected shooter of these National Guardsmen.
People that shouldn't be in our country this way.
So you announced that asylum.
And that includes Somalians and it includes plenty of others.
How long does your administration plan to pause asylum into the U.S.?
I think a long time.
Can you give any kind of time?
We don't want those people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit.
And then,
but it could be a long time.
You said that
we don't want those people. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You understand it?
I understand.
Who are you with?
I'm with News Nation. So
okay.
My name's Lindsay.
News Nation. Great. Let me just tell you something. We don't want those people. Does that make sense? You know why we don't want them? Because many of them are no good, and they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you
The people from different countries that are not friendly to us, and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
What are you talking about?
You got to talk up.
She said how many countries?
Is there a list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? There's probably more than that.
Is that what you mean when you mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about denaturalization,
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she shouldn't be a congressman, and we should throw her the hell out of our country.
Mr. President, you said that you might denaturalize some American citizens. Can you talk about
You mean people that are in here that shouldn't be here?
that became Americans? Are you trying
Well, we'll
to
see.
revoke
I
their
mean, yeah, if we have
citizenship?
criminals that came into our country and they were naturalized maybe through a Biden or somebody that didn't know what they were doing, if I have the power to do it, I'm not sure that I do, but if I do, I would denaturalize absolutely.
for clarity, if there, on the Venezuela boat strike, if there were a second strike that killed people in the first strike, are you thinking that would be illegal?
I don't know that happened. And Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted a second strike. The first strike was very legal. It was fine. And if there were two people around, but Pete said that didn't happen.
Does that make you
I have great confidence.
You saying there's no second strike?
I don't know. I'm going to find out about it. But Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
Do you have any concerns about how those boat strikes have been carried out at all?
Very little, because you can see the boats, you can see the drugs in the boats, and each boat is responsible for killing 25,000 Americans.
venture? Are you getting closer to that right now?
I know who I'm going to pick.
Tell me, Kevin Costner.
I'm telling you, we'll be announcing it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
This is a rocky flight. I'm
Rocky
getting.
one. Tim Walz, and you call him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. Absolutely, sure. You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with it. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walls. News Nation, failing News Nation. News Nation is doing lousy, by the way. But if you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Can you tell us what they were looking at?
For what, releasing?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking
I
at?
have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Bye, everybody. You too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
He probably just stood in front of it like a urinal. That's probably what he did. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He's got billions of dollars. He could have who knows? Who knows what's going on, people? But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. First, I know we're going to get to it again, but just want to call it out. I was already defending Hegseth, and again, I got faith in the people that are there. Didn't know if the story was true or not, but I fell on that grenade yesterday, and it apparently didn't need to. And really, in hindsight, if we went in and just started strafing people that were still alive in the water, that would be pretty jacked up for sure. I think the Nazis used to do that, so it is what it is. So I was, probably not in the best of places. We're at war, so again, I accept if someone's, like Maduro. If you go to bomb Maduro and you miss, you try again. I mean, is that okay? So again, I guess there's justifications for things. Weird world we live in. New York Times torches Tim Walz after Somalian scam woke Minnesota for $1 billion on his watch, just while he's been there. Now he's, of course, trying to defend it because he's running for a third term. Who wants to bet these two people aren't going to be around soon? I'm just thinking there's a strong chance. We'll see. DHS workers in Minnesota, they are also blaming dishonest Governor Tim Walz for massive fraud. 100% responsible. Folks, in all these states where you have people that suck, I live in one, our elections are not secure. Someone just let me know of a beautiful thing that they're going to do. They're going to have an election that we're going to vote for how we can make sure we secure elections with ID and all that stuff. So they're going to have an election to secure elections. That'll never pass. We couldn't get Gavin Newsom out of this fucking state. We still can't. We'll never get him out if we don't fix our elections. Minnesota, same thing. Colorado, same thing. Washington State, same thing. Oregon, my God. Washington State's, actually, a buddy of mine shared me some information. It was like 1986, something like that. Close enough. Washington State went to all vote by mail. They were Republican completely up until that point in time. It was a Republican that signed it in, the governor. And never again was there a Republican governor. Never again. Washington State. Thank you for that, my good friend. So we got to get our elections fixed, guys. Having an election to put election integrity shit is stupid right now. If we don't have fair elections, it won't pass. You'll be like, really? That many people are against this? I'm going to say an F word again. I'm sure it's coming. Hopefully if I can get enough of it out, maybe I won't have it build up, and that's when the F's have to come. It just has to. It spills over. And then an F word happens, Hopefully no children get hurt in the making of this video. Food stamp data shows thousands of liquor and smoke shops are approved for EBT. And this is a number of different states. There's 20 states that refuse to give information. You've literally got states that are like, nah, we think a vape shop is totally something that the government should be spending EBT dollars on, which are always only supposed to be for food. I don't give a fuck if you got a nicotine addiction. That's your problem, man. That's not my problem. You need some food? Totally. You need smokes? Fuck off. Oh, it already happened. Yeah, I guess it wasn't. Yeah. I would need to have done a full meditation to even, yeah, whatever. We have to just, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and they have the facts of life. Facts of life. No, too soon? Okay. Just wondering. That's all. Hey, sometimes you gotta feel like a nut. Came to refile resolution to require congressional approval for military action in Venezuela. So again, they're trying to strip Trump of his ability to do military actions now. Everything would have to go through Congress. We just got attacked with nuclear weapons. Congress, can you get together and get a vote maybe by tomorrow? Or maybe they can vote by phone at that point. You see, I mean, they were taking control. It's obvious. It's super obvious. I mean, it's still there, but we're, for the most part, deflecting it, right? You know? We sprayed the off on ourselves or whatever the equivalent is. Skin's so soft, whatever. Isn't that the Avon product that's supposed to keep mosquitoes away? That it's like, it's got nothing bad in it. That's the one I just remember anyway. I don't know what else they got. I don't live in a place with mosquitoes, thank God. I hate mosquitoes. I dislike mosquitoes. They're parasites. I don't think they do anything useful. Like flies kind of actually do. Ants totally do. Like spiders eat things that are bugs that I don't like. So, I mean, right? There's some friends in the family, but there's definitely mosquitoes and leeches and no. It's because there's evil on this planet, folks. That's where parasites came from. Pentagon chief, there's probably some truth to that, by the way. Pretty sure. Pentagon chief slams media over report of a deadly Caribbean strike, sorry. So this is about the thing where essentially Wall Street Journal or someone, I forget, was it what stupid newspaper said that he okayed going back and killing. This is obviously from some weird leak. Somebody got some information. Maybe they're doing leak control, which is my guess, because that's what this feels like. Again, anytime it's something, it's got to be something that's radical. And you leak it to certain people, even well after the effect. That's what's fun about this, because the first attack was how long ago? So think about that. And they probably leaked this out to a couple people. Maybe it was the first strike. Maybe it was the second strike for somebody else, right? Like, maybe was a number in there. They were doing leak control. They're figuring out where the info's going. I was talking about that with the funding for a lot of these things. Like, they haven't moved until they've got the bigger picture. They're taking in the bigger picture. The fact that nobody's really been taken down is giving the enemy a little bit of confidence. And because of that, they're being bolder than they should be because they don't realize how much they're being watched, especially people are using Signal. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, Hexa said, no, it's a bunch of crap. It's bullshit. Didn't happen. Not even true. F you. And, yeah, fake news, blah, blah, blah. But then he posts this, which is super cool. This is Pete Hexas, right here. For your Christmas wish list, Franklin targets narco-terrorist. That's pretty funny. And by the way, if I'm going to have a Secretary of War, I want him to be able to joke about war. For anybody that doesn't get that, thank God you're not Secretary of War. That's all I can say. And if you don't think this is funny, or if you don't at least get the direction of the humor, well, you know, your opinion's your opinion, of course, but who cares? Is what anyone that understands this is going to think. I love it. Tortoise. Right? Isn't that cool? I'm surprised it's not a frog. That would have been that would have just taken it to the next level. That would have been too much. People would have melted down. Yeah, we would have lost. Yeah, that's true. We would have lost people. They would have been like, what time? What's the timestamp? You should check it anyways. What is the timestamp, guys? Go look it up. November 30th, 2025, 4:37 p.m. I assume, since I'm Pacific time, would have been 7:37 p.m. their time. So what is that, 1937 on the 30th? There you go. Go run. Forrest, run. Attorney disciplinary group is asked to investigate New York Attorney General Letitia James for illegal and dishonest conduct. This is where I think a lot of us, this is me, this is one of the ones where I want to see Boasberg. There's a few of these judges I want to see, not hung or anything stupid like that, but just, tarred and feathered, I think would suffice for me. I'm cool with that. James, I think also, who's the other one? The one, had the DC, we had Letitz in New York. Right? Was that DC? I think it was. Whatever. Who's the other one? Why am I drawing a blank on the second one? That was a total hoback. Oh, friggin' Georgia. Down there. Yeah. Georgia. All that election stuff. Oh, my God. This is just, again, I want to see some of those people tarred and feathered. That's all. Just dethroned, defrocked, whatever the hell it is. Weird story, guys. So BBC Scotland headquarters in Glasgow, which I think is still part of the United Kingdom, right? I'm just saying. Has been evacuated after a fire broke out. BBC, fire broke out. Upper occupancy. Now, I'm just going to speculate, or let's wonder, is a better way to put it. What records were up there? Do you think they had anything to do with Trump in his lawsuit? Oh, we had a fire. We lost all those records. That was the office they were all in. You can see from this video that it's on fire. So, yeah, that's weird. That's all I can say. We just got this interesting office that catches fire. Somebody's accidentally decided to light up, a cigarette in the office like normal, and then threw it into the file cabinet, which who keeps paper records? Yeah, this is not good. By the way, I think the final count, Hong Kong police said on Monday that they had arrested a total of 13 people for manslaughter over a deadly fire that ripped through the apartment complex last week that has apparently at this point killed 146. Now, hopefully that's the final answer. That's just tragedy. Very sad. Very, very sad. U.S. announces a zero-tariff pharmaceutical deal with Britain. Apparently, pharmaceuticals made there will not have to necessarily pay a tariff. I think they might make a lot of if there's the stuff they're showing here, like ampicillin and, these looks like antibiotics to some. And the Ciprazone, I don't know. I don't really I don't know what all these drugs do, which is good, really, in my opinion. But yeah, a couple of them are antibiotics. So again, there are no tariffs. No tariffs for, I guess, the pharmaceuticals we might sell back to them. So we might be making a sweet little smart trade partnership when it comes to meds. Very cool. Tariff revenue surged to a record high of $31.4 billion in October. I don't think we're going to get November numbers. Well, we got October numbers. They were closed down all of October. So, okay. So we got $31 billion in October, which, I don't know, this graph here compared to last Biden years here, where Trump started all that, because Trump started the tariffs. And then we had some, well, more than, we had some legit tariffs or bumping tariffs or a couple boobies that are a little off-sized. And then, bam, baby, just went down and had some implants. Having a good month. I bet November is going to be even higher, too. We'll see. China factory activity contracts in the longest stretch. It's like 8 months now. Their manufacturing is below 50, which means it's starting to slow down. So there's a definite retraction happening in China. That's a big part of what this war that Trump is doing with them. So again, everybody's like, China's the best, China's the best. China's really good at copying stuff. They're not really good at doing it on their own. And by us cutting them off the way we have, they're in a really, really tough place right now. They really are. There's a lot of things they aren't good at. And it would take them a while to spin up in our institutions the right people. We're not letting those people come here. They're like, no, they're part of the CCP. They're like, wait, but you said you'd allow students to come into your country. Yeah, not CCP ones. Yeah, for sure. We would let a bunch of guys come. Just not communist ones. That's all. China factory activity. Not good for them. The exact reason why the markets just crashed. By the way, so crypto just pooed hard today. Like hard. I don't know where it's at this moment. I've got the screenshot from earlier, so it might have come back. It was starting to try to come back. But I guess, I don't know who these people are, but Winter Mute, he dumped 9,315 Bitcoin. That's a butt ton of money, by the way, at 90 or whatever it was. Coinbase dumped 8,375. BitMEX dumped 79.93. Binance dumped 5.46K. So yeah, basically, they have the commas instead of you guys in the across the pond. Why don't you like decimals? Is that the point? Is it because that's the end of a sentence only? That's the only time you can use it, and we bastardize that maybe? Probably. Anyways, Bitwise, they dumped a bunch. Bitfinex, they dumped 3,700 Bitcoin. This was a coordinated dump. It was a bunch of people that were taking their money and running. And the thing that bothers me kind of the most about crypto, and again, I do it or not, I think it's an investment opportunity up and down. And I don't know if it's at the bottom of the dip yet, by the way. I don't think this is yet a lot of people are like, buy the dip. And it's like, yeah, but if you're still in the free fall, yeah, that's not when you buy. You try to get closer to the bottom is the hard part. And so again, what that's actually going to be, I think, is surprising a lot of people. But the push to constantly tell everybody, nah, Bitcoin's this thing you just buy and hold on to. The government's gonna. Trump is talking about how he's going to do that. Well, here's a butt ton of Bitcoin that just got rocked from the market. And they did it probably at the same time because they're like, I'm going to drop it hard. And it might even be the same person, by the way. But they coordinated it because as you sell, the price drops. And so your first Bitcoin that you sell would have been at the 90 mark, right? 90,000 mark. And then the 1,000th Bitcoin you sold is going to be at like 89 something because the price is already starting to crash as your sales are going through. Because you got to find a buyer. There needs to be somebody that buys your Bitcoin. Again, it's just kind of that's like a Ponzi scheme without anything attached to it even. Like, I mean, at least Ponzi schemes used to have like, well, I guess it still does. You got a thing that's not really real. Anyway, in my opinion, you're never going to get your money, but you think it is. You think it's invested, and then by the point you find out it's not, and then you're just screwed, and they disappear. It's good times. All right, where are we at? Let's just refresh and see if we can get to that number faster. So Bitcoin's still in a pretty nasty place. Let's see. It was about there. We were down 7.88% when I was looking. So here's what I had, the numbers I had at the time. But, which you still barely can see, I get. But yeah. So yeah, it's at 84.74 right now. And again, many people would be like, well, that's a good time to buy. Might be, but I don't think we're done with this yet. There's a lot of people that got in early. There's a lot of missing too, by the way. I don't know how truly well documented that is, but there's a lot missing that people just forgot their passwords and can't get to. So yeah, there's it's changing already. But yeah, it's a very volatile thing. That's when you can make money in it for sure. I don't know what it's ever going to get to. I know gold and silver rocking. Silver's up $1.80 today. It was up a butt ton on Friday. Friday it was up, I don't know, 3.5, 3.8, something. It went up a crud, son. So we're almost at 60. The expectation is we're supposed to roll a bit higher, and then we're going to have another couple jumps coming still in the future. So again, silver is one of the best things you can buy. There's just a lot of reasons for it that I don't want to necessarily get into. I mean, of course, drslikesgold.com. If you're in a 401k or an IRA, get out, get into gold and silver, protect what you can. All said, I'm not really doing that commercial here. The whole model is broken. Tech mafia wife admits we are the Klaus Schwab's useful idiots. People are starting to wake up, and I don't know. I think this is pretty good. It kind of explains the way this works, and it might bother you just a teeny weeny bit. Let's go ahead and do it over here. I'll make it better. All said, here it is.
What happened around the pandemic is that this whole other segment, what I don't think many of the tech mafia wives realize is that they were used to set the groundwork for what was called like the reset, what is called generally as like the reset by the Klaus Schwabs.
Like the Great Reset.
The Great Reset, yeah. They openly talk about this Great Reset.
Yeah.
So the tech wife mafias, I believe, were kind of being conscripted in many ways, and their money especially was being conscripted in to set the groundwork for the Great Reset.
Yeah. Specifically through
a network of NGO advisors, relationship with Hollywood, relationship with Davos, and their own companies. So if you look at like who's on these boards, who hangs out with each other, how the culture of tech wealth works, like Silicon Valley tech wealth, and that small group of people responsible for a huge amount of money and a huge amount of NGO activity across the United States. It's a really small group of people, and it's a really small group of people making these decisions.
Yeah.
And then completely blind to everything else that's going on and how their groundwork is being used to then enable these other policies, these great reset policies. Now, what this group of women doesn't realize is that in their haste, these women are all very busy.
Yeah.
They have multiple properties. They have tons of staff. They have staff issues, chronic staff issues. Their kids are busy. Their kids oftentimes have some health issues as well. A lot of them have relationship issues with their husbands. And a lot of them themselves are like medicated on SSRIs and antidepressants and all of that because it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, so it's chaos, and these women find their meaning through their philanthropic work.
Yeah.
And they find themselves, like I would find myself, that was my self-worth, was my philanthropic work, and I really believed in it. I really believed that I was giving Black communities a chance to like rise up out of oppression. I really believed that I was helping Indigenous communities rise up out of oppression. And now that I look back and see how all those grants were performing, you know, because my version of success is those communities are actually uplifted.
Yeah. Not just more money pumped into them.
Not just more money. No, the problems of the community have gotten worse. Crime in the community has gotten worse. Mental health in the Native community, the Indigenous community, has gotten worse. They will even say, the Indigenous community will even say that their biggest supporters in Congress have been Republicans, but yet they continue to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is this, it's like the whole model is broken. The whole model makes everybody worse off. And now we're contending with the frickin' Great Reset that we're now realizing is a terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that many of our climate change issues are geoengineering issues.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is like, at the end of the day, they always go to that. They're like, but climate change. And then,
Yeah, that really is the end all be all. Like, you have to let us do this because of climate change.
Yeah. Social justice and climate change. It always boils down to those two things. And it gets progressive women 100% of the time.
It does. It does. So
That's that emotional argument, unfortunately. And it's just women tend to operate more from an emotional basis, that things feel more sometimes than making sense as a logical thing. And I'm not trying to besmirch anyone. It's just, I think, a general difference in how we approach life. Men tend to be more logical. Like, does it make more sense to go this way or that way, right? Like, what am I trying to do? All right, that's what I'm going to do. Single threaded, single focus. I'm going to accomplish that goal. Then I'm going to do the next goal. I'm going to get that done. Then I'll do the next goal, right? I think women are able to do this weird, like, multifaceted scattering of doing simultaneously, which is awesome. Doesn't work that way with guys, right? So they've been trying to emotionalize men down a lot so we'd be easier to guide, because emotions are a very easy way to guide people. It's non-evasive. It works for most, especially when you're programmed. When you're in the program, it works very well because you don't want to upset anybody. Emotion's a very funny thing, and it's this nefarious. It's like gravity, almost. Not saying gravity's not real, but it's like it's this invisible force. You can just claim that you're being offended, and that'll instantly cause people to recoil down because of the programming. And so you've got these extraordinarily wealthy women that are overwhelmed in these worlds. And I will say, the crazier up you get into some of these levels, and there's, God forbid, what some of these others are dealing with, you know, you have to have people working for you and stuff. But there's a lot going on, and it can be definitely overwhelming. There's a lot going on. And so these people have a hard time dealing with it. And again, here we are. So again, a lot of awakenings happening.
But
that's the whole point of what we're going through. It's just tough to go through. That's the only thing. It's really tough to go through. I want to remind you guys, I haven't talked about Pet Club in a while, but I love these guys. danradiostyle.petclub247.com. That's danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Just again, the big picture, for dogs, cats, specifically horses too, and humans. But there's this mushroom called Coriolus versicolor. This mushroom helps the immune system, helps make the immune system significantly stronger. They've actually found with animals, especially as they age, some of the weird things that'll happen. They'll get bumps in their skin and weird stuff, just weird things, right? Lesions and weird, just weird stuff pops up. This is actually helped to a large extent heal many of these things. This mushroom, you can't really overdo it, and just keeping it in your system at all times is constantly giving your immune system, you as a person especially too, but your pet, their immune system a little kick in the patootie, if you will. And so it's pretty cool how that works. So dogs, cats, and they've got different things. Cats got liver treats. Dogs have liver treats also because they'll eat anything pretty much. But they've also got these cookies called mush puppies. So there's a number of ways. They've got canned food for both. They've got dry food. They've even got freeze dried, where if you it goes like 1 pound becomes 5 pounds when you get it wet. And then, now it's kind of wet food too. They've got a lot of really good choices. They've got a sauce you can put on. A lot of it depends on where their caloric intakes are. What nasty foods are you giving them? Is it stuff from China? Think of some of the toys that you give them. They're made in China. Those rubber balls have lead in them, by the way, just so you know. So there's a lot of things we do unknowingly, and we cause some damage because of it. So this is one way to give your animal a little extra, chance. And of course, we got pills for people. Chill doggies too are kind of fun. You put them in the refrigerator, and the dog will be like, every time you go to get your snack, which you shouldn't be, you should be doing my OTFspecial.com. But the Feel Great product. But if you're getting that snack, well, your doggy probably wants one too. You got a little chilled doggy you can give them. I like for the gummies. The gummies are delicious. That's the easy way for people. All said, I was looking for the other products, but they have toys for dogs. They have the antlers, and just recommend that because dogs like them a lot. All said, tennis balls are cool, probably. I don't think they have lead in them, but whatever. Just be careful. Your pets, love them. They don't last long enough. I'll tell you, that's the one thing that's made it hard for me. I want a dog so badly. I got a house that's like set up for a dog, but they don't live long enough, man. They just don't live long enough. I don't want to ever put another dog down. It's the worst experience I've ever been through in my life. Dan RadioStyle, on a happy note, let's end right there. Dan killing an animal. Good job, Dan. That was well done. That's how you really bring home that sale. Well, anyway, try to keep them alive longer. Shoot, don't feel like me. How about that? DanRadioStyle.petclub247.com. That's DanRadioStyle.petclub247.com. We've got a finance chick in England that's, I don't know. People are pissed off at. She's supposedly not being real honest. She's like a kind of the equivalent of like the Scott Bessent, if you will, I guess. Her name's Rachel Reeves. Who knows? You guys add all those extra letters for who knows what. That's actually not that bad. But she's the British Chancellor of the Exchequer. I don't freaking know. Is that a French word? Why would you get... Anyway, it doesn't seem like an English word. I've never seen that show up anywhere in my weirdless life. So anyway, she is... They're calling for her to resign. Apparently, there's misleading the public about the state of the country's finances leading up to the budget announcement. They were going to justify just giant tax raise. And the controversy stems from the British government briefing the press about a supposed 30 billion pound to 40 billion pound black hole in the public finances that would have to be covered by this tax. So they just manufactured 30 to 40 billion pounds worth of debt. And they're like, yeah, we got to raise the taxes to pay for that. So everyone's like, what the hell's all that? And apparently it's a little lower than they were claiming. And they've got a small surplus that they suddenly found. But Reeves appears to have been pushed into this black hole narrative regardless. And yeah, they're trying to cover for major tax hikes that they're trying to do because everyone's bankrupt right now. Trump is helping England with these deals they're making. That's what a lot of these countries, I don't think, realize yet. It's like, stuff's about to crash, guys. If we don't have agreements solidified, might suck for you. Again, if you don't have some spare food, and if you don't have some flashlights, maybe a little extra cash lying around just in case, emergency cash, all right? I get all of us are spending paycheck to paycheck, but If you could try to put $20 here, $20 there, you'd be surprised. You can amass a small little amount, and it's an emergency fund in case something happens. UK man arrested for posing with gun in a photo while he was in the U.S. Literally. The dude's here in the U.S. There's a gun in front of him. He's not even holding it, but he does have the cans in his hands, right? So whatever. But England's like, you got arrested when he came home. He was in America when this happened. That looks too much like England, mate. Real? What? No. I swear. I don't know where he was at. Looks like a place where a lot of mosquitoes are. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right there. You're going to get some of that off. You're going to know all about those choices. You'd be like, oh, no, yeah, you don't ever leave standing water. I lived in Tennessee for a while. Yeah. I'd check around the house. Trash can lid flipped over. My God, you just have a friggin' infestation. Oh, there he is. He's actually shooting. That's a shotgun, mate. That's not even a... I mean, that's a real gun, but... Does this form look weird to you guys? I don't know. I don't know why it feels strange, but yeah. Doesn't feel... Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's the angle. Who knows? Whatever. He got in trouble. He got arrested for that picture, basically. It's insanity. Moscow paper claims Ukrainian drones hit Russia-linked oil tanker off the West Africa now. Just to give you a map. Black Sea's up here. We've been hearing all about the Black Sea stuff, right? Way northeast of Africa, if you will. Singali attacks, like literally on that outer tip of Western Africa, right? Over by those, just below that Sahara deserty part of the desert, right? And then you start getting back into the rainforest part of Africa that's not jacked up. There's probably a lot of oil too. There's a really neat story, there's some theories, some really fun. There's a rabbit hole if you guys want to try to find it. That's a fun one to go down. Whatever caused this particular desertification on the planet in this particular area. There's rumors of all sorts of technology buried under these sands, folks, especially you Tartaria people. You'd probably dig that one. That one's fun. That's a fun story. It's a fun walk down memory lane. France and the UK still insist on sending troops to Ukraine because, again, deep state still runs those countries for sure. That's why they were about to raise the British taxes significantly. That might actually make somebody angry. But they're trying to mess up this peace plan. They don't want peace. They do not want peace. Peace is bad for them. Peace is what we need. There's many that speculate, and I agree with this, that peace is needed before some of the crazy stuff that everyone's talking about, like 3i Atlas and stuff. All the stuff affiliated with that. Like, we have to get peace on Earth before anything is allowed. I'm sure of that. Timing may suck. Maybe we missed our ride. Shucks. I don't know. I mean, I know that's not true, but yeah, we need to stop killing each other. We need to be able to accept differences because we're about to meet, like, possibly creatures from other places. And some of us are going to find out they've been living here all along that don't look like us. People have a hard time with that. We kill each other over ideology. You believe in a different God. Well, there's only one God, but you call him a different name, so I thusly presume it's a different God. So I must defend my, right? Like, our barbaric, that reptilian part that's inside of us that's programmed to instantly freak out and start biting people. Yeah, we got to get that under control, or tame it, or learn how to be peaceful, learn how to love, because it's a different part of the brain. You start to really develop. Anyways, off in the weeds there a little bit. Sorry. First Lady Melania Trump, she unveils White House Christmas decorations. Warmth and comfort, making it beautiful. Look at some of these beautiful pictures, though. Really nice. That's just crazy how they glow, too. I like that. Like, my Christmas tree, I'm very happy with. My lovely girlfriend helped significantly. Completely, other than the top parts. And I helped break it open because it's a fake tree. But I put the sticks in there. You put those sticks in there? Oh, man, that fake tree smells. In fact, that reminds me, I should add another one. I know it's not the real same thing, but nah, I don't want that. It's a fire hazard here in California, man. Shoot. For any of you guys that were having that conversation in my head with me right then. Yeah, beautiful. God, these are nice. Be best. I like that. These are some really nice pictures. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's how that is. Right there. Let there be peace on earth. You guys might remember what we had prior. God, that is really nice. Look at that tree, guys. That is cool. That is beautiful. You got George Washington with Mr. Trump. Isn't that interesting? He'd be the first president. You guys, can I just throw something crazy out real fast? Again, I don't think this is right, but this, I mean, everybody's so like we're going back to the old thing that ended in 1871 or whatever, 79 maybe. Back then. Is it possible that we signed a new contract? See, that's what I kind of think more than going back to, and he would have become the 17th president, maybe. I'm not saying that's, look, I'm just throwing crazy out that I get weird things that happen from time to time. But he's got George Washington there. And that would sort of make him the new George Washington, right? Because George Washington, by the way, was not the first president of the United States. Many people forget this. I know a lot of you historians are like, oh, yeah, Articles of Confederation. Now, I don't know who the person was, and I don't know how many there were. And please, you don't need to email me. I can Google it. You guys can Google it. Look it up. But yeah, the first president of the Articles of Confederation was the first president of what became the United States. All said. He was under the new constitutional republic or whatever. I guess, would that be the right way to say that for you guys that get mad when I say things incorrectly? I think that's correct. We'll see. Who knows? That one you can go ahead and beat me up with. I'm not looking forward to it, but yeah, it is what it is. This was Joe Biden's, though. You guys remember that? Transgenders and weird hats and stuff. You know, because that's the same thing. It's just a mockery, really, of something that is meant to be beautiful. Anyway, I thought we'd take the walk down that lane. I love you guys. We're going a little long today, and I apologize, but this was, first off, I love American trucks, unquestionably. I owned a Chevy. I wasn't a Ford guy. I've never owned a Ford in my life. So I apologize. Ford's the best. I know we've got the funny acronyms for it, though. But Chevy, man, I had a Chevy when I was younger. Hey, I love my Chevy. I had an S10 King Cab, extended cab. I actually lived in that thing for a short period of time. And it saved my life because I was able to move. So yeah, it was, interesting part of my life. And that truck had some special memories to me. And that's what this commercial is about. And if any of you guys have ever, one, had a family, but two, had a piece of equipment that became part of your family. Like I actually sold a car one time and I teared up because I think it was my truck. Because of what it represented. Like it saved my life. It's funny and it's just cool because this is going back to how a family is supposed to be. This is Chevy, I think, getting away from this whole crazy wokeness and doing a good old-fashioned Chevrolet commercial. And Ford, I hope you start doing the same because I love you too, even though I've never owned one. But the Mustang, maybe. An interesting vehicle. All said, here's a beautiful commercial. Check this out.
Found it.
Are we feeding an army?
Pies are in the fridge. Hon, did you get the casseroles?
Yeah, back seat.
So let's go. Come on, careful.
Where's the dog?
Kinda got my hands full here.
Willie! Don't keep all the good stuff to yourself.
I was just thinking about the first time that we did this drive. The great diaper explosion of 1992. Uh-oh, the Christmas tree farm.
Don't even.
This the one you want? You got it?
Got it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
actually said, I will turn this car around right now.
I was going to.
Yeah.
Dad, we gotta go. Please, Dad, just stop by, please.
The last time we did this together, you remember?
I don't want to go back to college. It's okay. It's going to be okay. He doesn't even like me.
That guy's not even cool enough for you anyway.
By the cracks of his skin, I climb to the top. I climb the tree to see.
They never made it easy, did they?
Well, did you want it to be easy?
No. I wanted it to be just like it was.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Hello. Oh, no. You guys just get in?
Yeah. Who's this little guy? This is Waylon. You look like an old friend of mine.
Come on in. It's freezing out here.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Planted the seeds. I climb the tree to see the world.
I don't even know. That's one of the greatest commercials I've seen in a long time. Good job, Chevy. Good job. Ford, get on it. It's fantastic. I love you guys, and I'm glad you're on this journey with me. Thank you. We all chose a very special time to be here, and most of us, we're holding flashlights. Don't forget that. Be the biggest ripple that you can be. Grow your ripple every day. Be a part of the change that we're all seeking. That's a pretty awesome. It's a lofty experience for sure. That's for sure. But we've got some crazy to go through, guys. Be the calm in the storm if you can. I love you. Where we go one, we freaking go all, baby. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.